joy. You start losing your happiness. You start losing how you speak. You know, all of this interferes with your daily living. If you can't speak up for yourself, then who will? There's going to come a time when you won't have family members around. You won't have that person around that, you know, normally speaks up for you. So you have to get to a place where you overcome these things and stop blowing up big things that really don't even matter. So when you feel yourself overthinking, ask yourself, does this really matter? Will this matter 5 years from now or either 5 months from now? You have to widen your perspective or your view of how you view certain things. Do anybody got any questions before I go any further?
Mm-mm.
Okay. The second thing, set time limits on your decision making. Because if you don't set a time limit on sometimes, you can find yourself with reoccurring thoughts over and over, that same thought reoccurring over and over. Our homework assignment has something to do with those reoccurring thoughts, by the way. Have you ever, Amanda, have you ever been in a position where you just keep thinking the same thing over and over, and in your mind you keep thinking something's going to happen, but then it turns out that nothing happens?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's right there on you, and like, man.
Uh-huh.
And then it seems like it get like more than what it is. You sitting there thinking about it and stuff.
Yeah. And the closer and closer you get to a date for something, the worse your anxiety gets, and you start just blowing things out of proportion for no reason at all. And what could possibly be a good day, because you done stressed about it all week long and all month long, it turns out to be a bad thing. A good example of that is a lot of leaders and, you know, people who love to have programs. The program could go so good if people would just relax, write it out, do what needs to be done, and not overthink it. But as an event coordinator, I end up with a lot of people who have a simple program, but because they don't write out and define their vision, because they don't write it out and define it, they find themselves scrambling for ideas or dealing with the thoughts of what if this happened, what if that happened, what if this, that, you know, and they bring up so many scenarios that really have nothing to do with what they're planning. And it makes it hard and difficult on them. So that's another thing there, too, is to stop setting your day up for stress. You know, every day won't be Sunday and every day won't be peachy, but you can make the best out of most days if you have a positive mindset. If when you wake up in the morning, you take charge of that. You take charge of that day as soon as you wake up, and you hold on to that charge. You know, you speak positive to yourself. You speak life to yourself. If you have to, stand in the mirror and ask the Lord to help you. Look at yourself and welcome a blessed day. Rejoice and be glad in it. Don't just sit around waiting for somebody to tell you a joke to be happy. You better be thankful. Be thankful and grateful when you wake up, just for the simple fact you woke up. For the simple fact you have activity in your limbs. You have a voice to talk with. You have eyes to see with. There are so many people who do not have these things. So don't take yourself through unnecessary changes by waking up automatically assuming that your day is going to be stressed. Instead, wake up and bless your day. You can bless your day when you wake up. You can speak those things as if they are already in existence. You know, like we were saying earlier, your thoughts can betray you. If you honestly believe everything, listen, I'm going to tell you, I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself for losing the weight that I lost and to do it naturally with willpower. And I didn't use no shakes or no pills, none of that. I just ate what I wanted to eat in moderation. I did it in moderation, you know, and I knew that I had to have activity. So guess what? I ain't like exercising. At first, I didn't like exercising, but one thing I did, I prepared my mind ahead of time. I said, if this is something I really want, then I got to do it. I got to do it and learn to love to do it, love to do it. So this is something that people don't know, is that you can tell your brain what you love to do, and it will do it. Yeah. And that's what I do. When I get ready to exercise, I tell my brain that I love exercise, and I do love it. Because once I get to doing it, I just feel good. I feel energized. I feel fresh and renewed. You know, you got to tell your brain these things because your brain don't know these things. Your brain knows what you learned when you were younger. And when we were younger, we learned the only thing we liked about PE was like what? Playing basketball and anything that had to do with running. But we really never liked it when they said exercise. When they said we could play, that's when we liked it, PE. But we never liked the exercise part. So you can tell your brain what to do. And if you keep telling it long enough, the same way that you learn those negative patterns, you'll be changing them with better patterns a little bit over time. Now I have been exercising since 2006. I started this journey when my daddy died in 2000. No, I started it in 2000. Wait a minute, I'm sorry, 2005. 2005 is when I started it. But I was so proud of myself to see how far I came because, for one thing, people were telling me I couldn't do it unless I had surgery. This is the thoughts that I had in my head at first because this is what people were telling me. You can't lose weight when you're that big, you're that heavy. You can't do it unless it's by surgery. That's the only way it's going to come out. Mm-hmm. Well, so I had to battle those thoughts. I had to lay in my bed at night and think, I'm not going to lose this weight because I can't do it without surgery. You see what I'm saying? You got to be careful how you let people put stuff in your head. Yep. And then I heard people saying, you know, oh, you so pretty like that. I can't imagine you being skinny. I can't imagine you being small. You just won't look right. So then there's another thought that layered in my mind. I'm not going to look right if I lose weight. You know, people would tell me, you solid, you good, ain't nothing wrong with you, girl. But I was weighing over 550 pounds. What you mean ain't nothing wrong with me? I was barely breathing around you guys. You know what I'm saying? I was barely breathing around them, but they never came to me with the truth. It was only one person of a whole crew of people that I was hanging with that spoke the truth to me, and that was my sister K.O. She said, I thought you was going to die. You stopped breathing. I said, what? I stopped breathing. She said, and your head getting big. I was like, my head getting big. And I did not realize how big I really was. In my mind, I was living up to what those people were saying, and I never looked at the truth. I never looked at the truth, which was really that I could no longer wear Romans and Lane Bryant clothes. I had to go to big and tall men's clothes and start getting 7Xs and 8Xs. I started, you know, I got a heavy set brother, so I started asking him, where do you buy your clothes at? Because I cannot wear these clothes no more. Me and him got, well, we would compare shirts and everything. I mean, that's how bad it was, how serious it was. I could no longer wear women's clothes. I had to go to men's clothes, big and tall. But yet and still, I had those people around me that was just like, they was like, you okay like that? Ain't nothing wrong with you. You pretty. So they were layering me with all their opinions and no truth, which means here I am weighted down like some people are that's listening to this broadcast, weighted down with everybody's opinions and no truth. No facts, no evidence. No facts, no evidence of what is really true. So you have to get to a place where you get back to the truth in your life. What is true about your life that you really need? What are the things that you really need to do tonight in order to have a good night's rest? Whatever you write down, that's what's really true right now. That's what you need in order for you to have a good night's rest tonight. Somebody may be in a shelter listening. What do you need tonight in order to have a good night's rest? Safety, the talk to somebody, you have to come back to the truth of that. And you can't go based off of people's opinions, because even doctors told me I couldn't do it. So that lets you know that thoughts can betray you. Those thoughts can betray you. All right. So for your homework, I want to, let me add this last thought in there. When you do begin to do these exercises and just start discerning from the negative things and the things that you really don't need on your mind, don't keep checking the progress. Because when you keep checking the progress, in some ways, you're not giving God the credit that he deserves. When I began to lose weight, I didn't weigh myself for 5 years after then. I didn't know how much weight I lost, to be honest. I just trusted God, and I just did it. I didn't keep going to the scales and stuff to see how much I lost. The only reason I'm going now is because it's part of my treatment, but I don't care to know. I just want to live the life. I don't want to, to me, it doesn't matter. I'm trusting God with my life, so therefore I'm doing the things that I need to do in order to improve my life. It's okay to check once in a while, and that's why my therapist, she don't do my weight. I tell her off the gate, do not weigh me, every time I come in here, and she don't do it. And so, but to help you, don't check your progress all the time. Instead of checking your progress to see how far you came, how about examining your heart to see if your thoughts, if your actions are lining up with what you were asking God for? Examine your heart. Examine your actions. Are you doing the things that you're supposed to be doing? Are you with the people that you need to be with in this season? Because some of the people we were with last year, we can't use them in this season. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying, but they might need a time out so that we can get our focus back on. All right? So our homework for tonight is to write out a situation that recently has taken up too much space on your mind and has caused you to get off track. And, this situation, it can be something that's causing you to have reoccurring thoughts about it. It can be causing you to lose sleep. That can be a behavior pattern right there, getting started where you're losing sleep because of this problem. It could cause you to not eat as healthy as you would usually eat, or not eat at all, or either eat too much. Write out this situation that's recently taken up just too much time in your mind, taking up too much space in your mind. And these are some questions I want you to ask yourself once you write it out. I want you to examine your behavior. The first question the first thing, so write down the first thing is write out the problem that's been reoccurring in your mind. The second thing is to ask yourself, how does it make me feel? How does it make you feel, knowing that this situation keeps reoccurring in your mind? Does it physically drain you? Does it mentally drain you? How does it make you feel? Do you feel happy that you're having these thoughts, or do you feel sad? Are you angry? Are you rejoicing because you're having these thoughts? Well, write it down. The third thing is, what things have you stopped doing since you've had this problem, this situation that keeps recurring in your head? What things have you stopped doing? Did you stop getting up early? Did you stop going to certain stores? Did you stop going to certain church meets? Did you get off the choir? Did you join the choir? What are some of the things that you have stopped doing since you had this problem? If you joined the choir, then that means you had to stop doing something else so that you could join the choir. So what did you stop doing? When I had excessive thoughts going on, you know what? I stopped going out. I stayed in my room. I went in isolation right quick. I went in isolation. I shut everybody down. Now, was that good? And how did it feel? It felt lonely. It felt depressing. It was like one of the saddest times in my life. I think I cried almost every day that I was in that room. So write out those